And this is something that I've seen with my sort of own eyes. Okay, I've heard it with my own ears. Now, we were in a madrasa in Nottingham, in Flintham, in Newark. This was in the 90s. In a madrasa, and I'm sure if you sit with Maulana here, he's going to have plenty of jinn stories from his madrasa. And every other person that's been to some of these madaris, they've got some kind of jinn stories to tell you. But this one I witnessed, myself. We came to a building that was an old RAF building. Old RAF building that had been deserted for 20 years. So we were now coming into this, and we were going to start using this as a madrasa. Now when we came there, one of our teachers, Mullah Fadl Rahim, and he's still alive, he said to us, he said, because we started off living in one corner, and we're going to slowly start using the rooms till the other side of the madrasa. Now this place had 120 rooms. Yeah. And it had about 3 different halls, massive. We had an east wing, a west wing, a middle sort of part. And we were in the east wing, and we were just staying just in a few rooms. We were talking about literally about 7 or 8 rooms. And Maulana Fadl Rahim and other teachers said, don't go to the west side of the building. I'm telling you, as young people, you dare yourselves, right? Yeah. So we said, come on, let's dare to go over there, right? So we were young. We went into the west side in broad daylight, 12 o'clock. I'm telling you, spooky at 12 o'clock, forget 12 in the night. We're walking, and we were holding our arms, and we were walking together, about a good 7 or 8 of us. As we're walking, we can hear doors banging, bang, bang, creaking, things opening, we just run. We were saying, our kalimas loudly, shahadas loudly, what about that loudly, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum, basically we're running, yeah? Now, you can imagine this place was really spooked up. And the teachers warned us, don't go over there. Now what happened is one of these sort of days, now there's this young kid, I'm not going to give you his name, he's probably grown up now, he's probably got kids now, all right? So I don't want to embarrass him when some of you might confront him. But he was from up north, from here, up north, and he was a kid, about 13 years old, I'd say, from Bangladesh. He didn't know a word of English. Forget anything else, right? He just knew Bengali. And he was the most quietest kid you can imagine. Just quiet, just sticks to himself, and that's it. And he's trying to become a hafiz of the Quran, and he only has done 1 juz. He's only done 1 juz. So one day what happens is that he sort of strays off. I don't know, he goes over to the other side, and he comes back. And no one sort of takes much notice of it, but he comes back, and the evening when we're all sitting together and we're sort of reading, I wasn't there in the hall at that time, but there were others who said it. But then I went over to the hall to verify this. So this is something that I have verified myself. What happened is that he came with his Quran up to his teacher. You can imagine a kid who's lallu pattu, who doesn't know a single thing, yeah? He comes with the Quran to his teacher, puts it right in front of him, and he says to him, test me. And he doesn't say in English, he says it in Arabic. And as a kid, suddenly knows Arabic. Right? So he says, test me. And his teacher looks at him and he thinks, is he having a laugh? Those days, the beats were a common thing, right? Thinking, shall I just make spaghetti out of him? Yeah? So this kid just says, no. Test me. Any way you want. Yeah? So the teacher says, okay. The Quran's closed. He said, okay, read from the 15th juz. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله. And the teacher looks at him and thinks, what is happening to this kid? So the teacher then tests him from another place, and this kid now knows the Quran, and the kid challenges the teacher in speaking Arabic, and this kid has got really good Arabic all of a sudden, right? And then, when we heard this, we came over, and I specifically went, met him, and I start talking, and he started talking Arabic. Weird. So then we thought, okay, whatever has happened, miracle of God. You wait. What happens is now this kid is acting really weird, because he goes and he gets a hair clipper, and he shaves half of his head and he leaves the other half as it is. Takes his hat off, walks down the corridor with half of his hair on one side long and the other half is completely shaven. Now kids are freaking out. Jinn, 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 jinn. Right? So then, the teacher grabs hold of him and says, well, you got to basically just shave the other half, so the shave, the other half. So we've done that. Now, and he's acting all weird. He's doing things that, sort of abnormal. So he then goes to bed, and okay, he's gone to bed. At about 2 in the night, all these kids, there's 6 to a room, and there's 3 bunk beds in every single room. So there's sort of 2 on every sort of bunk bed. 2 in the night, 5 of them from that room, from his room, come running down